Hello, good morning. This is Jason at smarthelping.com. So I've got an update well, not an update. I'm adding two versions of the cost segregation study template to the main model purchase. So what that means, if you go to smarthelping.com, we go to cost segregation study. Here you can see it's $75 for a one-time purchase. This goes through um, a whole bunch of stuff with segregation study showing net present value benefit. It's fairly in depth. I've done a lot of sales on this and I've had a lot of updates. Well, not a lot, a couple. Here's the two most relevant updates I think that are worth putting into this. So you'll still get the base template, but you also get these two I'm going to review now. So this one is pretty simple. In this version, you can just classify uh, assets into three property types, and that's it. So it'll just list the total amount of assets you're going to have in 27 and a half year, 15 year, and 5 year. And you can define all of that in this drop down list here. So you can define all your items, the asset inventory description, what the recovery period is, what the high level category is. This is going to define where it goes on the template tab here. And then, or sorry, the high level summary is going to be what it where it goes in here. These are your main high level items. These are your low level description items. So you might define, refrigerator as 5 year, and it might go to kitchen. Now the point of these cost segs is you want to accelerate the depreciation to take the tax benefit earlier, even though overall you're getting the same tax benefit over um, time. If you get the tax benefit earlier, you can invest it into the business. It ends up, based on that present or time value of money. That's why people do cost seg studies. You can do one per property as you've owned it. Kitchen equipment, and then let's say we have, this dishwasher is also 5 year, and we put kitchen equipment on that one as well. And you just go through and define these. And what's nice is you can actually have a system here where you have a whole bunch of different items. The drop down list goes down pretty far, and you can just keep reusing this. So once you fill in the data one time, suggested pricing here per square foot or unit, and then as you update the template units and cost per unit, this automatically works and segregates all the assets into these three different types. So you populate your list once, you use the template over and over. You can update the descriptions here for what you actually have. And that is based on this list here is what you can pick in the drop down here, or you can clear out what you're not going to use. So it's pretty simple and effective. Nice summary. Now, what this does not do is it doesn't show depreciation schedules like the default template version, which does do that on a yearly basis. The accounting firm I built this one for just wanted this, and this is exactly what they wanted. So I'm not adding anything onto it. On these custom ones, I like to show, okay, this is what the client ended up using, and this works for them. All right, so that's the first update we're going to add to the cost segregation study purchase download. The second one that will be added is this. Now this is a little bit more in depth. You still have all your depreciation comparisons, your net present value savings, the charts, depreciation cost segregation study. So here it has all the bells and whistles and everything. But the difference here is there's a lookup, and you could define up to, what do I have here, 7 different depreciation schedule types. So 7 instead of like the other one was 3. And then you could define, and the reason why I've just put random percentages in here is because these might not be 5 here. This might be 7 year or whatever. You can define whatever you want up here, but you can have 7 different types of depreciation lengths, and that will just define how fast or slow the depreciation happens. And once you define these, So like for example, 39 year, you would put equals 1 divided by 39 as your percentage, and then drag that down to 39 months. And there you have, and that's the amount of depreciation expense of the asset purchase cost basis you recover per year. For 15 year, you do 1 divided by 15. Now you can also do half years or whatever quarter. You could do any percentages in year 1 versus year whatever. So this is dynamic, and it will affect all of the depreciation schedules you see in the summaries and the yearly comparisons. Now, what the lookup tab does is automates a lot of the entry. So on the base template, you're manually putting in a lot of this stuff and manually doing the depreciation schedules here. Now you can just define up to 7, and then you only have to define 7. Then you could select in the template based on the flooring or the personal property type here, or land improvements or qualified improvements or what have you. This will look up whatever it is here, and then based on what you define this as, you know, up to the 7 different types, 5-year, 5-year bonus or whatever, that will automatically populate in your recovery period. And here's where it gets nice, it automatically populates here and in through to the yearly comparison. So it automates a bit of the data entry. And I think this is probably, if I had to pick one, this is probably the best to use. It's the quickest, it has the best automation, but still is very flexible. But it depends, it's up to you. There's 3 versions. Now the first default version, the only difference between this and the first default version is there's no lookup. So you'll just manually be defining all of your items here. There's 129 different property type items. You would just be manually defining the depreciation in each one individually. Whereas here in the lookup, you can do it up to 7 different schedules. This is probably enough for most cases. If not, you can always use the default version and do all kinds of different depreciations for all different things. But the point of this is you do the study once, you figure out, you can project what your depreciation expense might be, which is good for tax planning in the future, and you can also estimate what your net present value savings is. Now this is arbitrary numbers, so these numbers you see here don't really mean anything until you put in real data. But the nice thing about this is you can see based on a tax rate, a discount rate, the acquisition year tax year, you could see um, a lot of different summaries, how much you're accelerating, what your year 1 cash flow is. For example, if you're doing this retroactively, you'll see how much money the IRS is going to owe you once you complete the study for essentially you might not have accelerated what you wanted to in the first few years, and now it's like year 3 or 4. You could do this and recover that. And it's just you won't get the benefit in the future. Now you'll get it, you know, immediately well, you'll get it based on when the study was done and how much tax offset benefit you're going to get. Okay, well, that's all I got for this one. Again, this is the cost segs template here. These modifications are going to really help, I think. It's one of my most popular templates on the whole site and across vendor sites as well. It's been very useful for a lot of different people. So I figured let's add in some of these custom versions because it's going to likely be used. Remember, you can check out more if you go to the home page. You can check out all accounting tools. You can get them all for $249, and that includes the cost segregation study template, as well as a whole bunch of other things here that are useful. Additionally, the cost segregation study template is included in the real estate bundle, which is $299 and comes with a lot of different real estate underwriting tools for acquiring, building, developing, renting out, exiting, all sorts of models for different types of things, for different real estate assets, joint venture hurdle, IR hurdle waterfalls, preferred equity, preferred return, a lot of different. This is so honestly, it doesn't seem like it, but this is probably the most valuable area of the site, in my opinion. These waterfalls, as far as like the real estate sector goes, these are the hardest things to build, and I've automated all the calculations for basically almost any use case that exists. So this is super valuable right here. Um, Here's a cost segregation study on the real estate bundle. And I have adjusted some pricing, so you can get all the financial models in, if you go to the home page here, the whole library for $4.99 instead of $9.99. So I've cut that in half. Also the Smart Helping Plus bundle, which has all of these different sheets I've modified over the years for these different templates. And this you can get now for $2.49 instead of $4.99. So I've cut both of those bundles in half. Uh, my billable rate is still $275 an hour, and I'm available for same day work. Usually I'm turning these things around within 1 to 2 days. So it's quick, accurate, uh, super useful. I do need to update. Honestly need to do a new intro video because this was done as 165 and then changed to 195 and now it's 275. Now likely never go above 275 ever. I don't see myself getting extraordinarily busy at that rate. Just busy enough is what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I do custom financial modeling. I'll modify your sheets, modify my sheets, build something from scratch, whatever you want, and I'll talk through all the assumptions with you, and we'll we'll get it built. Alrighty, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.